I've had a chance to review your charts on both tests. That first test, you did not pass the test, and it's pretty clear to me that you haven't told me the complete truth today. And the questions you're having a problem with are questions about Crystal. And in particular, the one about whether or not you know where she is right now. And I treat police officers in these circumstances like I would myself, so we're not going to go through all the interview interrogation nonsense. You and I are on the same page. But again, I'm also going to tell you the complete truth as we're sitting here. And it's no longer a matter of wondering, do you know anything about what happened? We're past that now. I mean, I'm crystal clear with you. I give everybody a good, fair test. I'm no longer asking you if you know. You do. Now, what you want to do with that is entirely up to you. I'm going to yell and scream at you and get the Sipowicz phone book and all that. I'm talking to you man to man as a fellow law enforcement officer. That the time has come for you to think real hard about the rest of your life. Okay? This is you. I'm not talking about Brooks or anybody else. And I'm telling you facts of life. I'm an old guy. I'm not trying to be a father figure here, but I'll tell you, in doing this for 25 years, the way that this pans out. When the FBI gets involved in this investigation, I want you to listen to one thing. You don't have to say anything to me. You do whatever you want to do. As I said, you may never even meet an FBI agent, right? But once you get on the radar, we don't go away, unless there's a reason to. I thought there would be. You didn't pass this, and there's some other information there as well. So I guarantee you we're not going away. All right? The FBI has unlimited resources in terms of forensic information, electronic information, many bodies as you want to pour out here, do surveillance and look through everything that's ever gone on. We will find Crystal. I have zero doubt about that. It's a matter of when it's going to be and why. And inevitably, what's going to happen is one of a couple of things. We'll determine exactly if she's injured and dead, which she in likelihood is. You've come to that conclusion yourself. Mm-hmm. The way that happened and the means in which it happened. Now, I know what your relationship is with your brother. It's a tight relationship, but in a unique kind of way. You have a little different relationship, and it's actually, again, not trying to make comparisons, similar to what mine and my brother's are. Close, but in a very different way. And no doubt in my mind that you've spoken with him about what happened. You know essentially what happened. And whether or not it was something staged out and planned in terms of I'm going to make her go away, or if it was something that was, I hesitate to say an accident, but something that was not intended to do. My hunch is, I don't know, because I don't have the physical evidence in front of me to know, but 99% of the time in these, it's something that was not intended, a push, a shove, somebody trips, hits her, or whatever. Have no idea. We find her, we're going to know, no doubt about it, and we will. And at that point, they're no longer going to come and ask you what happened. They're no longer going to come and ask Brooks what happened. They're going to know what happened. And they're going to prosecute, assuming a worst case scenario, because everybody had an opportunity up front to say, whoa, time out, it's a horrible, horrible thing. I got scared, let me just tell you what happened. Nobody's going to want to hear that anymore, because all your testimony in the grand jury, all of his in the grand jury, the interviews that were recorded, where there are demonstrable lies about things that were said, that's all I'm put in front of a jury and or a judge. You know, you've been in the system. And people are going to look at it in the totality and say, well, now they're saying it was some kind of an accident or they didn't intend for it to happen. Why did they just say that? Last month, last year, 5 years ago, whenever it may be. And what's going to end up happening is people end up getting prosecuted, and they look for the most significant sentences they can for people. And then people start cutting deals and who's going to get the reduced sentence and blah, you know how that all works. Point is, at that point, it's out of everybody's control. Okay? If we're going to get involved as the FBI and expend all these resources, then we're going to just assume the worst and go forward. If at this stage, however, and I'm just giving you the facts to lay out, these are not things, I have no doubt you've pondered this since the very first day this all occurred. Mm-hmm. But I want you to refresh it in your mind. You think about it however you want to. What everybody that I've talked to believes is this was something that was not a planned out murder for hire type thing or that nature. It was about a relationship and something that happened flared up. Like you worked how many domestics in your career? Plenty. And you know, people don't plan those out. Sometimes you see a pattern of behavior. That doesn't appear to be the case here. That's why I asked you about their relationship, and others have as well. Nobody's pointing to saying it's that kind of relationship. Again, I'm not going to lay out all the evidence that's sitting there right now, and there's plenty of it. And I don't know the additional evidence that's going to come out as this goes forward, because we're just getting started on an awful lot of things. But rest assured, it's all going to be laying on a table where you can now point and say, okay, this is it. And whether it be a circumstantial type of a case where it's just you put together the totality and it's so overwhelming that there is only one conclusion that a jury can draw, that's probably how this is going to work out. Unless somebody wants to step up and be a man and say, look, here's the deal. This is what happened, and make it better. I can tell you, 25 years of doing this, it always works out for the best, and that's what happens. People aren't going to come. You know the deal. Once you've interviewed a lot of people in your career, I'm quite sure, more than a few, I would bet. You've been in law enforcement 11. An interview can be as simple as talking to people or traffic stuff, right? Mm-hmm. You know people is my point. And in talking to those people, you pretty much know what happens. You've been around kids before. You know, if you ask them a question and they say something, you know it pretty much right away. Well, that's what I do, kind of on steroids. And I mean, it's obvious. Looking at your interviews before, it was already obvious that you're not being truthful about some things. Okay? To me, it was equally obvious that you're not somebody that had a major role in anything that happened as far as her disappearance immediately. There could be some other issues and factors there. I don't know, but that's my assessment. But when we start talking about her, where she is right now, when somebody fails a polygraph, the reason I did the test like this, you saw that numbers test, right? When I had you write the number 5 and I had you tell me that you didn't write it, and it jumps off the screen that you're telling me the truth. Mm-hmm. There's areas right off of that list you did the exact same thing. And you know where they are. And what that is a guilty knowledge test. That's what I call it. And what that is your heart and your mind betraying what your body knows to be the truth. My master's degree is in forensic psychophysiology, which means the mind and the body interacting to determine truth in an interview setting. That's what I do. This is actually admissible in court because it's scientifically valid. So when I say you know more than what you told me, I'm not guessing that. Okay? And when I tell you, polygraph, you didn't do well. I don't show people that chart. I don't show you. You probably don't care, but just so you know the facts. That's results on your test. Deception indicated. 100%. And then greater than 99. What's greater than 99? 100, right? What are the questions? Do you know where Crystal is right now? Are you hiding any information about what happened to Crystal? Okay. You didn't tell me the truth on both of those questions. So, I mean, I'm telling the truth. I'm not going to sit here and make up a bunch of stuff and try to read techniques with you. We're past that. So the cat's out of the bag as far as your guilty knowledge of what happened here. And again, I'm not going to play the games with you as the detective doing all the read stuff and everything else. I'm telling you, it's two individuals who know the way investigations work, what the facts are. And the time is now, today, to start fixing this problem. We can talk all about Crystal and how we need to get her a proper burial and her family needs closure and her son needs closure, and all those things are true. But you know that. But you're a realist. You deal with them the today and the going forward. You even kind of said that basically in an interview the other day. People were concerned about why isn't Brooks acting differently with what's happened here? His girlfriend, mother's child is missing and he's happy-go-lucky essentially. Well, people react to things in different ways, and I get that. That's why I say your relationship with him is a little different than others. It's a close relationship, but it's different than others might perceive. I'm the same way. It's an introvert's way of dealing with things. Introvert doesn't mean shy. It means you deal with things from an internal locus. We all do. I'm very much that way, so I get that. But that's why I'm not going to go into all these things about getting her a proper burial in the family and getting her back so that her son can visit and grave and all that. We all know that to be true, and you've already thought about that. You're dealing with that internally. What you're dealing with going forward is you, and more importantly, your brother. Your role in this, I'm assuming, because I wasn't out there to see exactly what you did or didn't do,
was nothing.
Well, I'm not even asking you.
Okay, well, go ahead. I mean,
you did. I've already shown you, so I don't care. I'm not asking you if you did or didn't.
Okay,
You did.
okay.
And we both know that. It's for a lie. I'm not trying to be punny, but it's crystal clear, right? What happened here? Now, the details of who did what when. Can I tell you exactly? No, but I can demonstrably point out through forensic evidence already that things that you told us about where you were at various times are demonstrably not true. We can prove in front of a jury today that you were places that you said you weren't. That's just one example. Okay. Again, I'm not asking for, I'm telling you the facts of what happened.
Okay.
You believe whatever you want about what I'm telling you. But I get paid to be truthful with people. All right. I'm here, my whole point today, when I'm doing a polygraph examination, I'm working for you, I'm working for the person in that chair. This is about a quest for the truth. And we're much closer today to the truth than we were when you first walked in that door. You can deny, and that's fine. That's what people do. It's will. That's what you've done at this point. And it's human nature. You know, when people are asked questions about a matter such as this, they immediately circle the wagons and start to, well, out of self-preservation, we all
Man,
do.
let me just cut you off. I mean, do we need to take this any further?
I would like to take it to the truth. That's the whole reason we're here.
Is the test though? I mean, man, you're talking crazy.
Well,
I mean, you're talking crazy.
Was that your rehearsed response to what was going to happen today? Because it sure sounds like it.
I don't know what it sounds like. I'm just telling
you.
Well,
I'm telling you what it is.
You're talking crazy.
What's crazy about it? Explain to me.
The accusations you're making.
Yeah, I'm saying you were involved in this.
Absolutely not.
Well,
none.
You already told me that. That's why we did the polygraph, to find out. Well, now we both know.
I told you what now?
You told me before you had nothing to do with it. Right?
Yes.
Well, now we're past that, because I've already shown that you did have something to do with it.
I don't know what the test...
I just showed you.
Okay,
I just showed it to you.
But I'm telling you, I did have...
And I'm telling you, you're lying. I mean, I can't make it any... I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but I'm just telling you the truth.
That's what I'm doing to you. I'm telling you the truth.
No, you're not. We're past that. I've already shown you.
I've taken the polygraph. Do you have anything else for me? Because I mean, I'm not going to sit here and we're not going to go back and forth like this.
You do whatever you want to do. I said I'm here.
I mean, I want to cooperate with you. I mean, I'm not here.
Tell me what happened. Tell me what you know.
I don't know anything.
We're past that. You've already shown me that you do.
I know nothing. I'm sorry.
That's not true. It's not me. I just showed you. I don't even show people the results. I showed you yours.
Man.
And I even went the extra step for you to find out, okay, well, let's try to nail down what you know more about. You know more about this? Who would know? Am I saying that you did it or you didn't? No, I'm just saying you know more than we did. Whether that's a simple conversation with your brother or whether you were physically involved out there, I can't tell you. Either one of those things would explain what I'm seeing. My hunch is it's something that your brother told you.
I don't know anything. He has not spoken with me about this.
Well,
he's my brother.
I'm glad you said that because he probably would know better than to say specific things. So it's a matter then perhaps of what you observed, what you saw other people say. I don't know. I wasn't there. All I'm telling you is objectively, that's what we do. You and I do. That badge on there is what? It's to protect society. That's what a shield is,
yes,
right?
Yes.
That's what we do. And I'm protecting you just as I would anybody else. But at the end of the day, I'm protecting one thing, and that's the truth. And objectively, looking at the facts, even if I were to take this out of the equation, why would somebody, on numerous occasions, in a formal interview, under oath over there, say something they know isn't true? Why would they do that?
Well, you know about me?
Not about you.
Well, I mean, do you think it would have had anything to do with being a little irritated about how things are going? I mean...
Well, that's why you lied?
I didn't lie.
Well, I'm telling you you did. I mean, I can show that already. This is not even...
Tell me about one of the lies.
Well, I can do that unless you're going to help me to understand the reasons behind it.
Dude,
I'm not going to lay out all the evidence that they do or don't have, but I can tell you...
I didn't ask you. I said, tell me about something I've lied about.
That's what we're talking about. In the grand jury, you said places that you were not. Today, when I asked you specifically a moment ago about whether or not you were ever at certain places, and you told me no. Well, I already knew when I asked that question that wasn't true, because I can place you there. Those are just examples.
Are you talking about the video out there in the driveway?
No, I'm not.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about.
I know you don't.
But I can promise you that I have been 100% honest with you.
No, that's what everybody, 100% honest. That's just, you take retechnique stuff. That's what everybody says. I'm 100%, I'm 110% honest. That's not it. Look, there's either the truth or not the truth, right?
And that's what I gave you, the truth.
Well, but you didn't, and I've already shown that. I give you benefit of that before you come in. I'm assuming you're telling me the truth. Look, I treat people the way they treat me. You haven't been an ass with me, and I'm not going to be an ass with you. I'm not that kind of guy. But I'm laying out for you what I've seen here. I can't argue with this. I've done over 2,000 of these. Trust me, when I told you I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing.
You must have slipped up today. I mean, I don't...
What do you think the chances are better that you slipped up and the truth snuck out here, or that I slipped up?
I know you slipped up, but if you're telling me that I failed that test...
I told you in no certain terms you did fail that test.
Well, then the
I
test...
showed you.
Then it wasn't valid, I mean...
Absolutely valid.
Well, listen, I'm telling you, I had nothing to do with it.
Okay, well that's fine, and I'll tell you, I'll even give you that you had nothing to do with it. Okay?
I know for
certain purposes here today.
I know for certain I had nothing to do with it, and I know nothing about it.
Well, that I won't give you.
Well, I mean, that's
because
just
I've shown that. Look, one of the two things is true. Either you know something, and it could be something relatively insignificant that you haven't told me.
I don't know anything. Absolutely nothing.
Well, then why would you be less than candid with me, with the other interview, and in the grand jury?
There's a reason for that.
That's what I'm saying. Explain that to me.
I had nothing to do with this, and I don't know anything about it.
No.
You know, it's just irritation. I mean, that has kind of worked its way into this.
Okay.
You know, I've been 100% honest.
Okay, well, that gets to, maybe that's it. Let me ask you that. All right, I'll give you that. When I ask you if you'd be less than candid, that means less than 100% truthful about things. You said you were irritated. Okay, which I understand. I would be too. Truthfully, no doubt about it.
Okay.
Okay. Have I been accused of things in the past that I didn't do? Yeah. Have I been accused of things I did do? Absolutely. Okay. And I've been irritated when I got accused of things I did do because I got caught. And then I got to face up to the consequences. You talk about being irritated in there. Tell me some of the things then. Again,
I'm not rehashing all this. I'm just...
No.
I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time.
My time is not wasted if we're here talking.
Listen, I don't know nothing about this.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing at all, and I had nothing to do with it. I don't know anything.
Well,
if I had something to tell you, I would. She's got kids.
I'm aware of that.
Okay.
Why do you think we're here?
Okay, look, I don't know nothing.
Well, something you just
not
said,
even something insignificant.
Clear that up for me. What you just, because I said, why would you be less than candid with me or the other interview in the grand jury? And you said, why was that? Because I was irritated. Okay.
Well, just being irritated and being put in front of 12 people and accused of stuff like this, I mean, you know, you're going to forget things and not be able to speak as well as you normally would. I mean, there's more to it than you're saying.
Well, that's what I'm asking. That's exactly what I'm asking.
Some of those things you can't explain. I'm not going to sit here and try to explain.
Take your time. Relax. Look, as I said, I'm sitting here. I'm here working for you. If there's stuff to explain, explain it. I will take all day with you to fix it.
And it would take all day to go through all this. I mean,
brother, you're on the clock. You're getting paid, so am I. Give me the thumbnail sketch if you want. Just explain to me what your big concerns are.
I'm not going there.
Why not? It makes no sense.
I'm not going there. Okay.
Well, it's not okay for me.
Well,
look what we're dealing with here. We're talking about the potential murder of an individual or an accidental death, right?
And if I knew anything, I would help you.
No,
but
stop. We're going to.
I know where you're going with this, man.
Where am I going?
You're going to just bring all this stuff about Crystal, and you know you need to be, you know.
No,
go ahead.
I told you I wouldn't go this whole read technique stuff with you, right? What I'm talking about just is what you just said about explaining it to me, so I can understand where you're coming from. You don't have to go through a whole life's history unless you want to. You said that you were irritated, and there's things that you don't know, man. That's what you said to me. Help me to understand what some of those things are that I don't understand, that would then make me understand the reason for this. There can be explanations, is my point.
Yeah, I mean, just this whole process, you know, starting from the chief and going down. I'm not going to do that.
But you said there's things I don't know about.
This will be shown to him. He'll be irritated, and then he'll be watched. I'm not doing that. It's that simple. I mean,
what do you mean? I'm not understanding.
You ought to be following me, man. If you're as sharp as, if you work for the, you ought to be following me. Okay?
Talk to me like I'm a kid then.
No, I'm not. Okay?
I'm giving you every opportunity.
And I'm telling you, no. Okay? I don't know anything about this.
Well, that's okay. That's not what I'm talking about. But you said there's things that I don't know that would explain it.
I'm not going into it. Okay?
Why not?
Because it's not worth going into.
I would think it would be very worth going into.
It's not worth going into.
Why not?
Okay, I'm not talking about it, period.
Why not?
Because I'm choosing not to.
Okay, that's fine. But tell me face to face as a man, I'm not going to tell you the truth. That's all I'm asking.
That's not what I just said.
That's what I'm hearing.
Well, then you need to rethink it.
Well, help me to rethink it then. Look,
I'm not going to, listen to me, I'm not going into it, okay? I mean, I'm here to cooperate with your polygraph and all that stuff, and you know, you can make any kind of notes you want. You can assume that I fail. It didn't bother me.
What is it you haven't told me that's causing you such concern here?
I'm not going into to everything that's happened. You know, I mean,
Like what?
I don't have nothing to do with this. Guys showing up at my house?
Look, this is the first day you and I have met, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have I been anything but cordial with you today?
And I think I've been the same way with you.
I'm not accusing you of not being.
Okay, there's nothing else to discuss here.
Well,
I mean, if I had something to give you, I would. I don't.
Put yourself in my seat for just a second, okay?
Okay.
And I'm talking to someone who's a family member, essentially, is missing and possibly dead. And you're sitting here, and that individual, who you know nothing about, never met before today, right? But you've seen some interviews where he hasn't been completely truthful about things. Not just kind of, haven't been completely truthful about a couple of
I've been 100% truthful.
Listen to what I'm saying.
You listen to what I'm saying. I've been 100% truthful.
Why are you yelling at me?
Well, because you're telling me I'm lying, and I know I'm not. I know the truth, you know? And I've been 100%
You don't
honest
know the truth.
with you, the grand jury, and everybody else I've spoken
No,
with.
you haven't. Here's what I'm getting at. Well, you just said
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't.
I most definitely have. And if you don't want to believe it, that's your issue. It's not mine.
It's not just me. I showed you.
Dude, I don't give a goddamn what your fucking computer said. Okay?
I think you do.
I'm telling you that I have been 100% honest with you.
Is this how you act when does this act this way towards Crystal?
When somebody... Is this how I act toward Crystal?
Yeah.
I act toward people that accuse me of lying when I'm not lying.
Did she
That's
accuse
how
you
I
of
act.
lying?
No, I didn't know Crystal.
Then why are you getting so angry?
Because you're calling me a fucking liar.
No,
That's
I'm
why.
just calling you a liar.
Okay?
I'm not cussed you.
I don't like it when people call me a liar. I'm being 100% truthful with you.
There's only the truth or not. What you
Dude,
said.
why can't you? I'm being truthful.
Look, we're
Okay.
not 2-year-olds, all right?
Okay.
So it's not, yes I am, no I'm not. Yes I am, no I'm not. We're talking, look, I've been nothing but professional with you and trying to help you in this
Okay.
situation.
Other than calling me a liar when I'm not.
Look, if the right thing to do is to tell you you're not being truthful, then I'm going to tell you that.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay? Look, I don't care. Little lies, big lies, they're all the same in terms of the polygraph.
I haven't told you any lies.
That's not entirely true.
It is 100% true.
Then help me to figure this out.
Okay.
What you just told me a moment ago, maybe explain it to me so that maybe I misunderstood what you're telling me, but you told me because you were irritated and there's all kinds of things that I don't know about whatever, that I can't understand why you would say the things you said. That's what you told
It's
me.
just been an experience.
Well,
all this is going on.
but
You
that's
got
what I'm
guys showing
asking
up
about.
over at my house taking cars. I mean, this is crazy.
Okay, but that's what I'm asking about. Are we talking about because of things that have been going on since it's happened, or are you talking about there's things that have gone on over time that I'm not understanding?
No, I'm talking about recently.
Okay, well, how am I supposed to know that if you don't tell me that?
This is simple stuff, man. I mean, I have been 100% honest with you, and surely, God, you can understand with people showing up at my house, and my family out there taking cars, the neighbors are watching. Man, it's been screwed up.
Of course I can understand.
Okay.
But I wasn't there. How do I know all this?
Well, man, you just assume. I mean, if you were a patrol officer and you got your chief showing up, and I mean, dude, that's crazy.
Look, I've been
Who the
nothing
hell?
but a professional.
I mean,
listen.
they come up with all these lies about, well, there's bodily fluid in your car, there's blood. There is no way in hell there is any blood in that car.
I have no idea.
Everybody's told me that. You know, I can speak with the state police. That's the first thing they said.
Okay.
Grand jury. I mean, it's crazy.
But I'm not them, right?
Okay, but I'm just saying this is crazy.
It may be. All I'm saying, look, I'm not vouching for all this stuff. The evidence will speak for itself, right?
Sure.
So it really doesn't matter what people want to say or not. The evidence that I've told you about that I can demonstrate are things that we already do have back that I can show.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't think they're anything that paint you in a horrible light. They show discrepancies with what you've said. Well, there may be a very clear reason for that.
And there is.
Well, that's all I'm saying. I'm not. Look, when I accuse you of lying over here, okay, and lie is a bad one. Nobody wants to hear lie. We've all lied in our lives. I don't care who you are. I have, no doubt about it. We all have. Nobody wants to hear that. But somebody who's telling a lie, it's the same thing as saying they're not being completely truthful, right? Okay, that's a little prettier way of saying it, but it's the same thing. I'm not saying you're so dishonest, you're so this and that. That's not what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is today with you, I have been 100% honest, and I don't know nothing about it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, and I'm saying that that's not entirely true, but it could be.
I mean,
but listen to what I'm saying here, okay? You want to get mad and defensive about it. Hear what I'm saying, okay?
Go ahead.
Because I'm truthful. I'm going to be completely truthful
Okay.
as I have been. Person would fail a polygraph on the questions that I asked you on a spectrum of issues, whether it be yeah, you were out there and watched her get shot and killed by somebody. And again, I'm making that up, all right? You would fail if that had happened and you told me you knew nothing about it, right? Obviously. On the far end of the spectrum, if there's something you know about in your mind that you haven't told me or other investigators, could be about as simple as you saw an argument one time, and again, I'm making it up. You saw an argument between Brooks and Crystal a year ago where she pushed him.
They've never been physical with one another.
I'm making it up.
Okay.
Right? What I'm talking about is the bigger picture is you would fail a polygraph on something that simple or something that dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. It could be anything in between. I'm not assuming it's a worst case. In fact, I'm assuming it's something you just haven't got off your chest with me or someone else. That's all I'm saying. Is it a little more clear what I'm talking about?
It is, but there's nothing on my chest.
Well, but here's the thing, and I think that there is.
Okay.
And again, I'm not assuming that it's something huge and dramatic. It may be. I can't tell you what this thing is going into your brain and telling you this is what you're seeing. That's not what I'm saying. All this does is tells me, do you, not me, do you feel you are being completely truthful or do you not? And it is telling me you do not feel you're being completely truthful. Well, that's okay. Your level of what's truthfulness may be a little different than mine. That's why I take the time to explain what I'm asking and why I'm asking it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's clear that when I ask that question, you can confidently say yes or no. Well, obviously, with those two questions in particular, about Crystal and about whether you're hiding any information, there's something that you weren't confident enough to say with 100% certainty. There's some other thing, and it may be a personal family issue, for all I know, that you feel, and frankly, I think it's probably something along those lines, that you feel, well, man, if I tell them that, they're going to think that he's just evil or he did something terrible. I'm not going to think.
If anything stands out in my mind, I'll tell you.
Well, then what, looking back at, when you think about this investigation, and not from other investigators or anything else, the investigation and what happened to Crystal and how that's affecting your brother and his child. With all this, when you sit at home at night and you're laying in bed and you think about what's your biggest concern in looking back? Because we all do. We all are analytical in law enforcement. We think about everything that's ever happened, right? And you start assessing this. You may not discuss it with everybody else. I get that. People handle emotions in different ways, especially in traumatic circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
I know I do. I'm an internal person. But I guarantee you that means I think about it inside more than I'm talking about it to other people. And what I'm saying is, when you're sitting there at night and you're thinking about it, maybe you talked to Brooks, but maybe you didn't. What is it? Where's your mind focus on something that you look back at and go, man, maybe that's something that I should have talked to Brooks about, or maybe that's something that might have had something to do with it. Where do you focus? These are just suspicions in your mind, right? But what do you think about? That's what cops do. That's what we do. Where does your mind land at when you think about those?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't know Crystal. I didn't know Crystal. I don't really know my neighbor. I know that's sad.
I get it.
I mean, I just wasn't around them. I never really saw them argue anything. If they did it away from me. I don't.
Well, that's fine. And if they did argue in front of you, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people argue. So what? My point is, if there's things, anyone along that nature,
mm-hmm.
or even a comment that Brooks has made before or after she went missing, that may cause you some pause in your mind, that may be enough, potentially, to cause you to have an issue on the polygraph. It's just, I can't put words, I don't know what you know. I only know, do you believe you're being truthful or not? And you don't feel you're being 100% truthful, as you said. Maybe you're being 99 now, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, if I did, I'd tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, I can't just make something up, and throw it at you. I mean,
what I ask you to. That's why I'm asking you just to tell me the truth and what you... See, the way it's working suspicions don't do anything. Wondering, thinking, oh gosh, I don't know, what could it be that has nothing to do with it. You only respond in the way you do, your physiological signature of somebody who's thinking about this specific thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which means in your mind, and again, I have no idea what that thing is. It could be something horrible, it could be something very explainable. But only you know what that is. And that's what I'm getting at is, try to get you to just say, this is the thing that I was thinking about, I had some concerns about. And at that point, I'm going to, okay, well, that probably explains what I'm seeing here. And again, it's not going to be a big deal. It's what we do. When people initially say, I don't know nothing about nothing, and it turns out as they're sitting late at night, they go, okay, I do know a little bit about something, but it's probably not important. But I've told you I don't know anything, so if I tell you this, you're going to think I'm lying to you. Well, that's not the case.
Man, nothing stands out. I mean, I wish I could come up with something, but I can't. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, I've been 100% truthful with you. I mean, I can't think of any examples. They never gotten, as far, I don't think Brooks would have ever got physical with her. I really didn't see them argue. I mean, I ain't got nothing to give you.
Well, and I'm glad to say it, because everything from what little I've talked to people about Brooks in particular, about you too, there's not a history of violence and that kind of stuff. There's been no domestic accusations, nothing like that. Which means that whatever happened here was likely, you know, again, I hesitate to use the word accident, but it was, I say, unintended, because people can get pushed and shoved, and I don't know, I haven't even seen her. How big is she? She's not real big, is she?
100 and, I don't know, maybe 150 pounds or something.
Yeah, well, to me that's big, but he's bigger than she is.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
And men being men, women, they get hot-headed, and they start pushing and shoving and screaming and throwing tantrums and all that stuff. Not all, I hate to throw a blanket, but a lot do. And all I'm saying is, in those situations, if it's a situation where she got mad and she pushed or shoved, and he defended, he's not going to hit a woman. It could be as simple as, in the course of that, she fell and hit her head on something. For all I know, again, I'm making up, I don't know, but in those circumstances, that's a real easy answer to what's occurred here. Again, we're going to find it, we're going to know exactly what happened.
Sure, no doubt.
But the time to hear about those things, what actually happened out there, is before we get to that.
I wish I could lead you there, but I can't. I've got nothing for you.
Okay.
I don't know where she's at. We didn't have nothing to do with it. I'm telling you, that's the way it is. I mean, I don't know, you know, if you watch the grand jury testimony or my interview with the state police, I mean, you know, sometimes I don't speak well. Like, a lot of times when I go to court, I've got my report in front of me. I read word for word. I just don't remember all that stuff. And then you put 12 people in front of you, and they start asking you a bunch of silly questions. Yeah, I mean, stuff just blanks out. I mean, I don't respond well to that.
I get that. I don't like speaking in front of groups, period. Even 12 people in a jury. I hate testifying. It's what we got to do. But I'm also a student of people. That's what my master's degree is. So when I watch the interviews, I don't just listen, but I listen to what's being said, how it's being said, statement analysis, kinesics, physiology, what people are doing in the room. And you could turn off the sound in some of those interviews and see spots where an objective interviewer would point and go, "You're not being completely truthful right there." Well, I did leave the sound on, so I listened to some of those spots. Again, I don't think they're huge critical issues, and it may be as simple as what you said earlier, that because of irritation and accusations, you just decided you're not going to tell people about whatever, fill in the blank.
Well, it's not that I didn't tell them. It's just that, you know, a lot of that stuff I didn't remember, you know. Okay. And I'm not going to start making stuff up or tweak it in any way. Yeah. I'll just straight up tell you I don't remember. If I don't, I'm not going to make something up.
Absolutely, and I get that. And I'm not. I wouldn't want you to say something that you didn't know. I mean, if you do that, you're lying by definition.
Yeah.
But the other side of that is, I mean, we all look politicians. Hillary Clinton is a prime example, right? And I'm older than you, but looking back in the Whitewater days, way back when, and she was interviewed, her husband was interviewed. So we use those as studies in interview interrogation.
Yeah,
and what do they say more often than any other? What's the phrase they use?
I don't know. I'm not up to date.
That's actually what they say, but they say I don't recall.
Oh, I see.
And when it's clear that they do. And so, and I'm not saying that's not the case with you, but when you hear I don't recall, it tends to raise flags with people that are investigatively asking questions, right? The truth may be you don't recall, but that's certainly a viable option. But when you couple those statements with all the other things going on in the room, and then when in some of those instances, not all, but there were a few, where we can physically say, well, no, but he just said, when you didn't say I don't recall, you said I was here or I was not there. And they asked you several times, were you ever there? You said no. And we can show, well, yeah, very clear. Here's the evidence that shows you were there.
If you're talking about the vehicles in the driveway, they harped on that and harped on it.
I'm not talking about that.
I mean, they must have asked that question 10 times. I mean,
we
may have been, I don't know.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as that, I think at the end of the day, you were, you changed your answers up some with that to be as truthful as I think you could be. When you said, no, I don't think we were there, and so I don't think, and ultimately we have, and we could have been, well, we can show whether you were or weren't there. I mean, that's simple. So whether you recall or not, you were, so I don't care. But what I'm talking about are other times that I haven't given you the evidence on here today. I've asked you questions about where you were or where you were not, and you were definitive. It wasn't, well, I don't think it was, I couldn't have been, it was no, absolutely not. Okay. Well, And again, it's not a huge issue in the grand scheme of things in terms of you being a certain spot or not being there.
Mm-hmm.
But if I already know the answer to that, the truth, the ground truth, as we say in polygraph, and you're saying something other than what I know I can prove, it raises questions in my mind.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Well, but it is my point.
Okay, whatever.
It is. My point in that is...
I don't know what you're saying, I don't know what you've heard, but I'm just telling you, I didn't do it. I don't know nothing about it.
You did.
I don't know anything about it. My brother, and I can tell you, I know him well enough, he didn't do it. It's just the way it is. I mean,
have you ever known somebody that you said wouldn't do something and it turns out they did?
I'm sure I have, but it wasn't my brother.
That's right. So you're choosing to believe
because I know him real well.
I understand.
Yes,
Well, look,
yes, I am.
And if it's my brother, I'm gonna feel the same way.
Okay.
My point being is just because you feel that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Well, I mean, I feel 100%. Not 96, not 98.
Right.
I mean, there's just no. This is crazy. He would not have done that.
But what you're saying is you believe him. At the end of the day.
Well, it's not that I believe him because I haven't questioned him about it. You know, I haven't. That's
why would.
Because I know him well enough, I don't have to ask him that question.
Okay, well, I guess what I'm asking really is this. Not, I don't think I would ask my brother if he did it or didn't either. I don't think I would. But what I would do as an investigator, is you as a police officer, if she's missing and you believe you have anything to do with it, I would investigate or want to question him and say, look, what do you think happened here? How do we find her? How do we get her back? What do you want me to do about this? You know, that kind of thing. Those are conversations I have had with my family, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering why you haven't had those kinds of conversations. Or maybe you have.
We've talked briefly about it.
Well, talk to me a little bit about those conversations then.
I mean, I don't really remember word for word. We've spoken very little about it.
You're not on
I'm not investigating it. I mean, a lot of people have asked why we're not out there looking with our family members jumping out in the road giving us. I'm not going to get out in the woods and have somebody end up threatening me or something. Then I've got to do something silly.
But what I'm asking is, you're not under oath here or anything. I'm not asking you to remember specifically what we said. I'm just talking in generalities. Tell me about, were the conversations like what I just described? Hey, what's going on? What do you think happened? How can I help?
I mean, I don't remember those. I mean, I'm not going to start making stuff up, and I'm just not going to do it.
Let me ask this then. If you're me here, maybe reasons, would it not strike you extremely odd that as police?
I just think things get screwed up. You know, I'm not going there. I mean,
Wouldn't you want to help him find her?
Of course, I want to help find her. I want her to walk in. I want her to walk in his door right now. You don't clear this whole mess up. You know.
Absolutely. But for that point, that's what I'm saying. Didn't you ask him? Hey, what can I do to help?
I mean, we really haven't been around a lot. You know, around each other a lot. You know, we've been up there to the farm a few times. Both of us are just incredibly busy. I didn't know Crystal. You know, he's dealing with this. I'm not gonna stress him out about it.
Yeah, but aren't you gonna help?
Of course I want to help, but
that's what I'm getting at.
But what can we do? You know.
That's what you ask him. What can I do?
There's nothing we can do. You know.
She's just gone.
I mean, hopefully, like I said, she'll show up any minute, and if not, obviously you guys are going to find her at some point. Find out how she was killed. Is there evidence under her fingernails? All this stuff, and it's not going to point toward him or me.
Who would it point to?
Well, how the hell would I know that?
That's what I'm asking you.
I'm not investigating the crime. I don't know.
Do you have any suspicions of anybody?
I do not. I didn't hang around Crystal. I don't know her husband. I don't know her ex-husband. I don't know those people. If I had anything to throw out at you, I'd do it.
Would you?
Most definitely.
What about other investigators?
What about them?
Would you tell them?
I would tell other investigators. I don't too much care for John Snow, but the rest of them, I don't have a problem with them.
Okay.
State Police, Mike Kaminsky's a good guy. Ed Mattingly's a good guy.
Okay. You met? I don't know. Is it Detector Snow? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know him other than.
He's just admitted. He's only admitted that he lies in court. I just can't deal with a guy like that.
Okay. Did he admit that to you or something?
He admitted it to a bunch of us over in the squad room. Hell, there was half a dozen of us over there.
Okay.
You know, I'm not going to get between a guy like that and my brother. I mean, I know he had nothing to do with it, but I don't want things to get screwed up either.
Well, I agree.
You know, I want this done right.
I think we all do. Would there be a reason that Brooks would say that he did discuss asking you for any help on this matter?
No, there's no way he said that. No reason, no way, 100% not.
Okay. Yeah, I know they asked you about it, but I know when he was being interviewed, you called and basically
Yeah, he was
told
with
him
John
to do that.
Snow. He was with John Snow
Oh, is
for
that
hours.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I called up there. Brooks is a really cooperative guy. He's honest. You know, and I just basically, I didn't tell him to leave. I told him, I said, you go ahead and finish up your, he was giving a narrative or whatever, a statement.
Mm-hmm.
I said, it's fine to give that. I said, say what you mean what you say. You know, I asked him, I said, are they screwing you around? Are they asking the same questions, a bunch of different ways? Because he'd been up there for hours. This wasn't no 1 or 2 hours. He may have been up there like 3 hours or 4 hours. It'd been a while. And I figured John was screwing him around, and I just wanted to find out what was going on there. So that's all that was about. If they want to read more into it, that's up to them, you know.
I'm just asking you just because I...
Yeah, he was with John Snow, period.
Was that the same interview when Ryan from State Police was there too?
I don't have any idea if Ryan was here. I know Ryan and another guy interviewed me, but I don't think that the State Police have interviewed Brooks.
Okay.
There was a bigger guy. He was probably about, I don't know, blonde hair, short, kind of a heavier set guy, maybe about my height, 250, 240, something like that. And then there was Ryan Johnson was with him. So.
Okay. You ever seen Brooks lose his temper?
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever. What about in those rare occasions when he did?
I tell you, I can't even think of an example where he's just went off the, you know, I mean, every once in a while he may, you know, mess up on a house or something like that, you know, but, I mean, Brooks just, he's a pretty calm, laid-back dude. He's not, you know, I mean, he doesn't take medication. He is level-headed.
Okay.
I mean, he keeps up with about 100 rental property. He builds 8 or 10 houses all the time. I mean, he's just,
He's younger than you.
He's younger than me.
Does he kind of look up to you?
I think a lot of times Brooks thinks he's over me, you know, I mean, it just depends.
Is he a leader or a follower?
I think both of us somewhat are leaders.
Okay. What about when the two of you are together? Who's the leader? Not what both of you, realistically.
I don't know. I'm not going to say.
Fair enough. That's why I asked.
I don't want to put him down.
That tells me that makes you the leader, so I understand. What else haven't we talked about that might clear this up?
If I knew, I'd tell you.
Would you?
Yes.
If there was something that you knew would be helpful, but you felt you were not comfortable telling me or someone else, would you look me in the eye and say, there's some other stuff, but I prefer not to talk to you about it?
You saying one of the detectives here and then just call you?
No, you and me. Right now, as I'm talking, if there are other things that you do know about, that you're just simply not comfortable talking to me about, would you look me in the eyes now and tell me there's some other things, but I would just assume be a gentleman?
Yeah, I'd tell you that. I'd straight up tell you that.
And are there some other things you would just assume not discuss with me?
No.
All right. Anything else I have not asked you about today that in any way could be helpful?
No.
Okay. Think I've treated you fairly today?
I think you have.
I've been professional with you?
Yes, sir.
Have you yelled or screamed or cussed at you?
Nope.
Have you yelled or screamed or cussed at me?
A little bit.
Okay. And I understand that, okay?
Okay.
All right. We'll step back out, we'll grab Brian here, and I'm assuming we'll get you back to work here.
Sounds good to me.
All right, appreciate you coming in.
All right.